Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stacy, and so today's video is really exciting because I've managed to attempt to do the new palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills and Norvina, which is the daughter of the creator of ABH, I believe. I'm not too sure. But she had created another volume palette, and those palettes were released last year, I believe around holiday season, and those were $60 each. And so for the new one, it's called Norvina volume number 4, and I'll insert a picture of how that looks like. And so basically, I've attempted to dupe each eyeshadow shade from that palette. And this was just to prevent me from buying the whole palette for $60. And I figured I looked through my own collection and I created an inspired kind of based on that color theme. And so if you want to continue watching to see all the shades I pretty much attempted to dupe, then keep on watching. Okay, so every shade that I am going to name in a second, they're not all exact dupes. And so how I'm going to do this is I'm going to list each shade by pointing out the ones I have in my arm and then refer it to the Norvina the volume number 4 palette, and they're all through a number and letter. So let's get to it. Okay, so this is pretty much the whole palette that I attempted to dupe, and it was a lot of hard work trying to find the shades. So let's start off with this one, top to bottom, and then top to bottom here. So the first one is the Profusion Lovestruck palette, and I found the shade in Adore right here. The next shade is Profusion Lovestruck and Vamp. Then this one is the Profusion Starlit palette and Ooh La La. Then this one was a different one. This one was from the ABH Glow Kit and Sugar, and the shade I used was called Marshmallow. Next is the Profusion Lovestruck and the shade Hot AF. Next is a Profusion Paradise palette, mixing the shades Fearless and from the Profusion Festival palette and Champ together. Next is the Profusion Mirage palette and the eyeshadow shade named Preppy. Next is the Profusion Festival palette and Zenth. So in the Profusion Festival palette again, this one is in the shade Sunnies. Right here. So next is the Profusion Mirage palette and Outgoing. And then this one is the Profusion Festival palette, mixing in the shade of Feliz, and the Profusion Mirage palette and Marcella. So next is the Profusion Paradise palette, mixing in the shades Shell, and in the Lovestruck palette, Lilac, all together. This one is a JD Glow Galaxy eyeshadow single, and the shade Anomaly. Next is the Profusion Festival palette and the shade Rave. Next is the Profusion Lovestruck palette and the shade Glorious. Then in the Profusion Starlit palette, I mixed the shades from Uproar, and the Paradise palette in Cadet. So next is in the Profusion Mirage palette and the shade Whiskey. And in the same palette from Profusion Mirage, I mixed the shades Fuego and Outgoing. And so with the same palette, which is the Mirage Profusion one, I mixed in Desert and Canyon together. Okay, so in the Lovestruck Profusion palette, this shade right here is called Ravishing. Next is from the Profusion Starlit palette, and this one is in the shade Brilliance. This one is in the Lovestruck palette called Festival. Oops. Oh wait, my mistake. Okay, so in Brilliance. And in that same palette, the Profusion Starlit palette, this one is in the shade Camel. Next is the Profusion Lovestruck palette in the shade Festival. This one right here is from the Profusion Festival palette in the shade Fanny Pack. So this last shade right here is in the Starlit Profusion palette in the shade Bling. So that's pretty much it from what I wanted to share in this video. it's just more like an encouragement to maybe look into your own eyeshadow palette collections to see if you could possibly find dupes for a palette. And this one was really hard because this is like 25 eyeshadow shades in total, so it took quite a while trying to like incorporate everything. The one that I pretty much had the most trouble was this one, which is like supposed to be like almost a brownish shade but with a gold undertone. It's almost like a duochrome, so that one I could not find. That one's just like a yellow shade, kind of similar to the vibe but not completely. So keep in mind that this is not like an exact dupe video, but almost like to attempting and to trying to find that. So as far as my eye look today as an inspiration for the palette, I had my transition shade for the Profusion and Shell and Lilac together. And then I also put in underneath my eyelid right here. What's it called? Waterline. And then all over my lid is the JD Glow Galaxy Shadow and Anomaly. Then as like a light transition of that yellow eyeshadow shade, I put the eyeshadow in, which is called Sunny's. And then for my inner corner, I use from the Profusion Lovestruck palette and the eyeshadow shade called Glorious. And so it was very easy to pretty much look at what I swatched and then came up with the eye look that seemed suitable from what you could get in the palette. So that is pretty much it. I'm going to sign off now. It's pretty stuffy in my room. We're currently having like a heat wave in California, so I'm kind of suffering a little bit and I'm a little hungry too. So I'm going to say bye now, and I hope you stay safe. God bless, and I hope you're having a good rest of your day or night, and take good care, and I'll see you another time. Bye.